Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll discuss about how to shift from an insecure attachment style to a more secure one, which is a gradual and ongoing process. And it involves self-awareness, intentional efforts, and sometimes professional support. So I'm going to discuss some basic steps. Let's go through them. The first is to develop mutuality. So maybe previously you have been into compulsive caretaking and people pleasing, prioritizing other people and their needs over your personal ones. So, as you become aware of this habit, shift your focus to mutual relationships where both parties contribute and have their needs met. For example, instead of always accommodating others' preferences, express your desires and find compromises that benefit both parties. Second is challenge meaning making. So previously, maybe you were automatically attributing negative meaning to others' actions, which was leading to self blame. Now start questioning your assumptions. Seek evidence before you draw conclusions about others' feelings or intentions. For example, someone cancels plans. Instead of assuming they don't value you, consider alternative explanations such as a busy schedule or unforeseen circumstances. Third is tolerating distressing emotions. So, you might be seeking immediate relief from discomfort by engaging in compulsive behaviors. Instead, start developing skills to tolerate and managing distressing emotions without resorting to avoidance or impulsive actions. For example, instead of seeking constant reassurance in relationship, learn to sit with the discomfort of uncertainty and trust that your partner's feelings are consistent. Next is identifying protest behaviors. So maybe you were engaged in manipulative behaviors to seek consistency and security in relationships. Replace manipulative actions with direct communication, setting boundaries and expressing needs clearly. For example, instead of playing emotional games to gauge someone's interest, communicate openly about your needs and expectations in the relationship. Next is mindfully choosing relationships. So maybe earlier you were maintaining relationships with emotionally avoidant individuals, perpetuating triggering patterns. Now actively seek and prioritize emotionally engaged, secure relationships to break free from triggering cycles. For example, identify individuals who constantly and consistently show emotional availability and invest in the relationship with those who contribute positively to your emotional well-being. Next is value caretaking qualities. So earlier you were overemphasizing caretaking to the detriment of your personal well-being. Now start acknowledging and appreciating positive traits while establishing a balance with self-care and healthy boundaries. For example, recognize the value of your nurturing qualities, but set limits to prevent exhaustion. You allocate time for self-care without guilt. Next is to explore identity and goals. So maybe previously you were operating without a clear understanding of personal identity and attachment related goals. Now start delving into identity exploration, discerning what aspects of character are worth retaining and what needs adjustment. For example, reflect on personal values, interests, and aspirations, aligning them with attachment goals, and actively work towards a more secure self. Next is becoming self aware and understanding yourself. So, recognize what attachment style you're adopting. Is it anxious, avoidant, or disorganized? Refer the previous video that I've shared the link below and understand your attachment style and understand how it manifests in your relationships. Also reflect on your early childhood experiences and how it might have shaped your attachment patterns. The more you educate yourself, the more you will find relief. identify your triggers, and gain enough knowledge about attachment theory to understand how it influences behaviors and relationships. Recognizing what situations or behavior trigger you or trigger your insecurity. Make a list of it by making a journal. Seek professional support if needed. Use mindfulness and emotional regulation. So, practicing mindfulness in your day to day life by managing anxious and avoidant thoughts. Learn to regulate your emotions, allowing yourself to experience and express feelings in a healthy way. Develop secure habits. Build trust gradually. Focus on building trust gradually in relationships, allowing them to develop naturally over time. Setting healthy boundaries by establishing and communicating your clear boundaries that respects your needs and also respects the need of others. Start challenging your negative thoughts. Question your assumptions. Challenging your assumptions and meanings attached to others' behavior. Consider alternative and more positive interpretations. Reframe internal dialogue. Replace self critical or fearful internal dialogue with more compassionate and affirming self talk. And keep an emotions journal. It may be a good idea to record your most recurrent emotions when you think about your relationships. This will help you to identify patterns. For example, do you typically feel others don't love you enough? Once you identify your most recurrent thoughts and emotions about relationships, consider identifying the evidence that would support or contradict your thoughts. For example, which of your partner's behaviors let you know that they don't love you, and which of their behaviors makes you feel that they do love you? And push the pause button. Since at this point you may have identified a few thoughts and behaviors that aren't based on the evidence, you may want to consider pausing your reactions. This means that instead of reacting immediately to what you assume is happening, you wait calmly and identify the evidence and then respond based on that. The last is to communicate openly. Expressing how you feel in a clear way can help your partner recognize your needs and respond to them. And last but not the least is to communicate openly. Expressing how you feel in a clear way can help your partner recognize your needs and respond to them. It may also help you increase your confidence in the safe space your relationship provides. And if problem is persistent, do not hesitate to seek professional help. Thank you so much for watching the video. Bye bye.